Next up, I want to get rid of these breathers. These I should have taken off earlier. I keep standing and tripping on them. Let's see, it shouldn't look like that. I've just got them hooked up to stop them getting a bit wild. There we go. I'm not actually sure how those are held on. Could well be that needs to spin. There you go. Some kind of clip and off we go. Wish I'd done that earlier now. I've been stepping over those and tripping over them, all for the sake of one nut. Right, so looking at the other end now, this is the transfer box end looking from towards the front. I'm going to separate these bolts here. They're all pretty badly corroded, but I think I'll be able to get them off. You need a long reach setup going on here to be able to get past all the workings. Now these are the ones I'd really like to have used an impact driver on. Just because they are a bit messy, so I'm going to try one first of all and see how it goes. And there's quite a few of them, so chances are one of them's going to stick, so I'll just tentatively loosen one off and see how it goes. Well, I've got it going. Right, let's try another. Oh yeah. Good. They are not in the best shape. I'll probably end up renewing those. Let's try another one on this side. That could do with a skinny socket, that one. It's not going to get in there. So I'll go ahead and do all of these bolts. I think there's at least 4, 8, I think 2 internal ones. I've got my spanner hung up, you'll notice on here. I've used a ratchet and I can only go one way with it, and it's currently stuck. I'm hoping when I slide it out I can loosen it off some more, but at the moment it's kind of snookered. Right, so that's all those bolts, 4 each side at the moment. I think these two also that are inside this casing here, I think they are part of it, holding it all together. The extension part holding that on. So I'm going to release those. I'm going to give it a tap first of all. Have a quick scoot round, make sure there's no more bolts, and then give it a tap. And this, as you can see, I've got this stuck on. Do not use a ring spanner on there. It's a ratchet one, so I can't tighten it back up to get the ratchet back off, so I'm a little bit snookered on there, but when I tap it out I should be able to keep loosening those off. That's the plan anyway. What you're going to need is a thin socket. These are bi-hexagonal. Let me find one over here. These are all bi-hexagonals. These are quite badly beaten up. I'll probably end up renewing those. So you're going to need, mine's a 3/8 drive as well, because in order to fit it into some of these gaps, the wall thickness has to be quite thin, otherwise you get pushed away. So make sure you've got a thin wall. 3/8 works fine. I use an impact gun. It finally got mine going, and it broke these off, even though they're quite big bolts and quite corroded. They came out pretty easy in the end. So next up I'm going to take, these are some kind of locators on the top. There's one here and there's one further back here. Those are some, I'm not exactly sure what the name of them is, but they're coming off regardless, because that is, I think it's holding this piece in here. So we'll wing it. First of all, I'll give this a little bit of a tap and see whether I can get it moving or not. Right, I've loosened these already, so again they came off pretty easy, nothing major. And Just make sure you keep all your pieces together. One bolt, one washer, and one plate of some kind. I could do something to lift that with. All the tools I've got out, I don't have something to lift that with, which is pretty amazing. It looks like it's got some sealant on there of some kind. And it's some kind of guide. So put that to one side and hopefully keep the nut in there. Same with this one here. Again, it's something I've cracked off the other day just to make sure I could actually undo these, but generally I've got to say everything's come off pretty easy. Fingers crossed, let's keep hoping it goes along those lines. And he is not going to come off without a bit of a tap of encouragement. No, he might come off. Let's see if I can prise it off. Yeah. Some kind of sealant under there as well. Have to remember all these. Looks like a nitrile gasket of some kind. But never mind, I'll renew that as well. Again, I'm trying to keep the bolts with all the bits that come off here. No doubt we'll get messed up. Put them in there. Right. So I'm just going to have a quick look around to make sure there's no more bolts in there. And all this should slide off. In theory. Again, you have to be very careful of the weight of this. Right. Yeah, there's a bolt there that I've missed, and I assume there's going to be one on the other side, so there's probably is going to be 10 of those, so I'll bash that off. Alright, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and those two at the top. Right, I think we're good to go, and see if I can get this knocked apart. I'm going to try a rubber hammer first of all. I don't have a rawhide one. I don't think this is going to be enough. Definitely starting to split. I'm not smacking it too hard yet, I just want to make sure I've got some good movement. I'm not entirely sure I've got everything detached that I need detached. And that's annoying there. I'd feel happier if I could get that out. Let's see what I've got. I think this bolt is just holding it up a little bit. Come on, play the game. Alright. So yeah, it's another one of those. That's how the other head should look. By hexagonals, you can see the better state that one's in because it's been protected, and the other ones are corroded. I may end up renewing those, I'm not sure. Right, let's give them another little encouragement. That's it, it's moving. And hopefully see, you don't have to smack it like a crazy person just to get it going. There we go, that spanner's going to come off. as I'd hoped. Come on, you're almost there. Play the game. Right. This one's going to be annoying. It's going to be a troublesome child. Come on. It's not that tight, it'll come. Bit of encouragement. Oh, it's tight there. I think because he's got a weight on it. That's it. If I just take the weight off the housing, that'll do it. There we go. Number 10, and that noise you heard there was the other indent, spring and ball dropping down. So I'll have to find those. I think they went totally out the bottom. There's a bit of oil coming out. And hopefully this guy here needs to be loosened to get that out. It's there, you can see I've got it split and it's hooked up currently on this fork thing. Again, it's a Torx one holding it on, so I'll drop that off and then hopefully that's going to free the whole casing, and this end I think will drop off from the centre plate. There's a centre plate, that's the extension housing, so I guess this bit's coming out first. I mean, there's many different ways you can do this as to how you take it apart, but I'm going for volume more than anything. Get as many bits off as I possibly can and then worry about the rest later on. Let's see if I can find an extension, and it is going to be tight, I just get the feeling. Well, it's not going to go in either. There we go, it's a better one. I'd rather have a larger socket on this. There it goes. Oof. That made me nervous. Keep it moving. Once you get these things going, keep them going, because it builds a heat up in them. This is obviously thread locked in. There we go. It's surrounded. Not sure how it's held on at the moment. Come on. It's just space that's holding it in, it's too tight on there. So I'll encourage him. There we go. Easy enough. It will go back one way, so all this has to be remembered. And I'll put that with them, which I've just dropped. A lot of this stuff is meant to be renewed, but as long as it's not damaged when you take it out, I'm just going to reuse it with some thread lock. So another piece off, and I reckon this casing should now come off. Finally surrendered. And there we go. She's out. Put that on there. These are the most awkward shaped items in the world. No idea what that is, but it's only half of one. Whatever it is. And there's another one down there. And see if I can balance that a bit better. I mean, that's a filter. There's nothing untoward with it. It's as you'd imagine it to be. A couple of gritty bits on there, but nothing horrendous, and that gets renewed anyway, so file that away in the bin.